Look at those year-over-year numbers for Hard Rock and Ocean.
I know.
Legitimately the two greatest casinos of all time.
Legit.
The quarter two year-over-year.
Killing it. Up 1,869%.
Yeah. What a casino. What can I say?
Just amazing. We thought Borg did well.
Howdy, it's Tuesday, July 23rd, 2019, and this is episode 104 of Due for a Win, the Atlantic City and Casino Biz podcast. I'm Kyle Askin, joined, as always, by Craig Stone. What's good, Craig?
Listener Justin S. is good.
Oh, man. He's the greatest of all time. Sorry, John B., that you are no longer the greatest of all time for all podcasts. I think Justin has taken over.
I mean, we had questions and just really came through, but we'll get to that later.
We don't want to give it all away in the beginning. You have to listen through. We've consulted our marketing department, and they insist that we should stop doing that.
Okay. All right. Let's move on. We'll put that after the ad break.
That's right.
The ad for Casper mattresses or Audible. Did you say SeatGeek?
No, I said Chickies and Pete's. But
oh, Chickies and Pete's.
Yeah.
SeatGeek is another one that does a bunch of sports podcasts.
Anyway, what happened in the year 2004?
Multiple things. October 1st, 2004, nearly 10,000 hotel and restaurant workers at 7 Atlantic City casinos walked off the job. So Borgata, Sands, and the 3 Trump casinos at the time, which were probably Trump Castle still at that point, Trump Plaza and Trump Taj Mahal, had already reached deals with the Local 54 union, so it was the strike was against the 4 Caesars properties at the time: Showboat, Harrah's, Caesars Valleys, Hilton, Tropicana, and Resorts. That's the 7 properties. So the strike lasted more than a month, which seems nuts. Like, that's a long, long time.
How long were they picketing the Taj before the end? That was months, probably.
It was a while. I don't think it was months, but it was a long time. So they had many demonstrations. They blocked traffic on the Atlantic City Expressway, which I'm sure made everyone extremely happy. There were multiple arrests for that. And eventually, on November 4th, they finally reached an agreement with those remaining 7 casinos and went back to work. So, what else? We've talked some about sports in the past, right? We've talked about the surf.
Yeah.
So, Atlantic City Card Sharks played in the National Indoor Football League, which is something that I was like, clearly that only lasted, 6 months, right?
Yeah. I've never heard of either the Card Sharks nor the NIFL.
That thing lasted 7 years.
Is that the league or the team?
The league. No, the team, 1 season. Started in 2004, ended in 2004. Atlantic City Card Sharks. It's a cool name.
Speaking of which, do we know how the Blackjacks are doing? Either in record or in people actually attending the games?
Not sure about the people attending the games. I think the record doesn't matter because last year, Washington was the worst team in the league and won the championship because every team made it. I don't know. They don't seem to be doing too well on my quick Wikipedia search. They've only won 4 games out of 12.
Yeah, it's not great.
It's not great. 4-8. But you can still win the championship. They're not in last. Columbus Destroyers 1-11.
That's bad.
The Albany Empire are 10-2. Truly an empire.
They'll probably relegate to the NIFL.
Yeah, the defunct NIFL.
Right.
And then the last thing, the Rendezvous Tower opened at Resorts. It's 27 stories tall, 459 rooms, and it looks like it's from Tim Burton's Batman. My biggest question is, how is that so new? How is that built in 2004?
It is legitimately incredible. I mean, to me, the Rendezvous Tower is like one of the iconic Atlantic City things, but it does legitimately look like it was built in like the 20s or 30s.
Yeah, or right? Like 1989, specifically for a comic book movie. So, I mean, that is surprising to me. It's maybe even more surprising, at least on the interior, that the Bally's Tower opened in 1990.
Yeah, that's woof, man.
It looks like it's from 1975.
Right.
Yeah, so that's the Rendezvous Tower, which ties us into 1904. also resorts related. Do you want to go into that?
I can. You'll have to correct me if I mess up the pronunciation, but Chalfante Hotel, is that right?
I believe that's right.
AC's first skyscraper, with the word skyscraper in quotes because it was 8 stories, opened to guests on July 2nd. Chalfante Haddon Hall is what eventually became resorts, though they used the Haddon Hall portion and knocked down Chalfante Hotel, which is now resorts surface parking. But there is still a Chalfante Avenue between North and South Carolina Avenues. South Carolina, classically known as a green property, correct?
I have no idea.
Oh, come on, man. You're an
Monopoly?
Atlantic City celebrity. Yeah.
I don't know.
What is Atlantic City known for, if not Monopoly?
That's a good point. Remember when they had all that Monopoly stuff out in front of Bally's? They should bring that back.
Yeah. I think that's right. I think North Carolina is a green.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's right. That sounds right to me.
Yep.
So actually, a cool thing, my brother, for Christmas, I think not this most recent Christmas, bought me some old postcards with the Chalfante Haddon Hall. And then I think also a more recent resorts image, so you can kind of see side by side. So that's cool. It's truly relevant to anyone listening to the podcast.
Yeah.
That I own those things. More relevant, should we talk about some updates from previous episodes?
Yeah.
Corrections, as it were.
Unfortunately, actual podcast MVP, Ed, for all gambling podcasts, says that the live dealer aquarium at the Gold Nugget is not a live dealer aquarium anymore. They've apparently put advertising over the windows so you cannot just stare at the dealers in their natural element, like a zoo.
It's sad. They should reopen it and charge admission like Siegfried and Roy's dolphin habitat.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of sucks.
It doesn't actually suck at all because it was super weird. I mean, it
What
still
an
probably has
odd
that
use of space.
terrible smell coming in, though.
Probably.
I'm sure. So,
should we talk about T-shirts?
yeah.
People have been pre-ordering. The demand is incredible. I said the deadline is tonight, so if you're listening to this, you've missed out on a
it's too late.
guaranteed shirt. But still, let us know if you want one. We may have a few extras.
Yeah.
But we'll be ordering those very, very soon and hopefully be getting them out to people in the next, I don't know, few weeks or so.
Cool.
And then the other update is that we said Miss America, I don't know if it was the last episode or the episode before, would stay in AC but move to a casino rather than Boardwalk Hall and also move to the Winter. And most of that is true. It is moving to a casino in December, but that casino is the Mohegan Sun in Connecticut. Are you devastated?
Absolutely. I know that you will be very sad being the confirmed #1 Miss America fan.
Yeah.
But
You can still watch it on NBC. They will broadcast the next 2 years of the Miss America pageant. But without the AC connection, I just don't care.
when do you think it will not be on network television?
That's a good
Is
question.
it going to be after this contract ends?
I think it'll move from NBC to
Cable.
True TV or something.
Yeah.
And then which is owned by NBC, right? Oh no, I think that's CBS. I only know because
NCAA games are on it. Yes.
On True TV. Yeah, I think its time on getting nationally televised is in its last 2 years. That would be my guess if I was betting.
I don't know. It might be one of those things that's still weirdly popular, but I doubt it. I hear that you're going to Las Vegas in 5 days. All of our other friends are going in 4 days.
That's true. Yes, I will get there 30 hours after everyone else. They'll all be broke or super rich and living it up, and I'll just be sad.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I get in at 5:45 on Sunday evening.
That's pretty late. You're leaving pretty late in the day to get there that late. Because it's only with time zones, a 1.5 hour flight or something, 2 hour flight?
2.5 or something like that.
2.5,
Yeah, so I leave around 3, so that way I can help out in the morning and stuff.
Week.
I mean, me, Andy, and my brother all get there within a couple hours of each other, so it's not too bad. Mm-hmm. Pretty much half the group. So I've come up with a pretty detailed itinerary, despite everyone else's best efforts to thwart it.
I can tell you that nothing makes me happier than not being on those emails. I will say that, regardless, in the future, if I'm going to go on something or not, I'm just going to say I'm not to avoid them.
I mean, the most recent response I got from our friend Craig was, trip planning, it's Vegas. We can go where the Vegas gods send us.
I respect that. I think that's right.
That's not the way I do things.
You're not gonna get me on your side on this one, I don't think.
So here's the problem. Going where the Vegas gods send you means the Vegas gods send you to your room for an hour and a half trying to figure out where to eat dinner for 6 people.
No one has ever... I don't think that's ever happened to me in my life.
Yeah, because you're always out at Harrah's and going to Chipotle. You missed Dave's bachelor party where 19 of us were sitting in his room for like 2 hours and 45 minutes trying to figure out where the hell we'll fit our entire group on like a Saturday night for dinner.
Dude, it sounds like you made some really awful life decisions and I made good ones. My bachelor party, we all went out to dinners that I had selected beforehand and it was fine.
Oh, that one sushi place closed, by the way.
Oh, did it? It had like incredible reviews and was crowded when we went.
There are also like a dozen places around it that also have incredible reviews.
It was legitimately, I think, like the most nuts Yelp reviews I've ever seen. It had like 4.8 with like 5,000 reviews. And I'm like, I didn't know that this was possible on Yelp.
Yeah, so there are like 6 other sushi places in Chinatown and Vegas that are similar ratings. So I guess there's a lot of competition. So where were we? Me bitching about planning and not getting any cooperation from anybody.
If people want to know where that sushi place was, it was on the road just a little bit past Rio and Palms, on the Palms side of the street.
Where that defunct sushi place is. That's where people just want to drive by and be like, that's where Kyle ate dinner.
Look, I give the people what they want. I could tell there was curiosity about it.
So my 2 main concerns for this Vegas trip were, 1, not ending up sitting in the room for an hour and 45 minutes trying to figure out where to eat. And 2, I have a solo day, and I didn't want to just be like wandering around aimlessly.
Just play tiles at Arrows.
That would clearly be your plan. So I think I've sort of solved that with a general itinerary that leaves some flexibility. So I don't know how detailed you want me to get here.
Give me like the Cliff's Notes version.
Okay, so we have dinner reservations at Blue Ribbon Brasserie at the Cosmo at 8 p.m. on Sunday. First night. So we have dinner reservations. Figure do that. Hang out Center Strip.
Your flight will probably get in late or something, and it'll be a big disaster. But go ahead.
I mean, it's not the biggest deal to miss a dinner reservation.
True.
Monday, either check the Tix for Tonight booth for absinthe tickets, or go get free Piff the Magic Dragon tickets via my Diamond status and Andy's Diamond status. So then we'll do that show. Pretty much everything else is open that day. No other solid plans, although I have like multiple restaurants listed for, got to narrow it down. I think that's my goal here. And then people start leaving. Tuesday, I have to move from Planet Hollywood to Delano. I still haven't switched my reservation there.
Perfect. Sounds perfect.
Yeah. I have 2 passes to the Shark Reef Aquarium via My Vegas. Figure I'll do that during the day. We have dinner reservations at Herbs and Rye, which is a speakeasy type place that has half-price steaks and cocktails during happy hour. So we have dinner reservations during happy hour, and people
half-price steak sounds like a pretty good deal.
Yeah, and it also gets incredible reviews, so I'm very excited for that.
So who's here? Is it just you, Paul, and Andy at this point?
So that's me, Paul, and Andy. And then Wednesday, it's just me and my brother, but my brother's in a conference the whole day. So I think Wednesday night, if we go to Absinthe Monday, I think we're going to go to Piff the Magic Dragon on Wednesday. Otherwise, we'll probably just get really, really drunk on really good cocktails at various places.
That sounds like you and your brother.
My solo day, here is what I figured out. First, potentially Pete Rose signing.
You will not do this, but go ahead.
I mean, how great would it be to have a Pete Rose signed 8x10 that says, Craig, you're due for a win.
You're not going to do it.
You don't think I'm going to do it?
No.
You don't think I'm willing to spend $60 or whatever on that?
It's not happening.
The real question is, what's the cost? Because like $60, sure, go for it. If it's like $120, that's way too much.
Well,
and we learned Zach Ertz was $60.
You're going to have to just mind you to even investigate this, assuming he's in Mandalay, which is where he always is.
I have already confirmed that date, Mandalay Bay, noon to 5.
Yeah. I mean, it's like 250 days a year, but
that's actually the only day he's there while we're in Vegas.
I'll be impressed if you do it. Let's put it that way. Whatever the cost is, if you do it, I will subsidize you $10.
Oh, sweet. I'm in. It's definitely done. Except now I'm going to go and he's going to be like, for that inscription, $200. Or I'll just go in and look and be like, it's Pete Rose, and then just walk out, which is what I've done, I think, every previous Vegas trip.
Is what you will do 100%.
We'll probably also do the Pinball Hall of Fame that night.
You already saw everything you needed to see about pinball when me and you went to the Riviera, the finest casino in Las Vegas.
Oh, that's a good point. Those were from the Pinball Hall of Fame.
They were from the Pinball Hall of Fame, yeah. They had a bunch of old ones there. It was great.
But my solo plan...
I love the Riviera, and I cried when it imploded.
I thought it was a major shithole. Like, it made me very depressed to be inside there.
No, you're thinking of Circus.
Yeah. Riviera actually made me more depressed just, like, walking through it. Because it was completely
ridiculous.
in the death throes when I went.
Yeah, so I went, I think I've mentioned this on the show a few times, but my first 2 or 3 times I went to Vegas, I stayed at the Las Vegas Hilton, which was right next door, kind of, to the Riviera. So I spent some time in the Riviera. So Riviera, Hilton, and Sahara are like the 3 places that I think of when I think of Vegas.
Sierra's coming back for you.
I know, I heard it's coming back, man. I've got my Sahara player's card.
Probably will still work. I can only imagine.
Yeah.
So the thing for my solo day that I figured out that I think I'm very proud of myself and happy about it, and I probably will end up not doing it because that's how I operate. True for all these plans. So just put a big asterisk next to all these plans and figure I probably won't do it because I'll be, in the bathroom in my hotel room.
Yep.
Is a downtown video poker crawl. I can sense the excitement.
Yeah. That also sounds like something you're not going to do. Me and you both know you're going to do on your whatever day is you're just going to, like, go to 1 or 2 strip properties, walk around, not actually gamble anything, and then it'll be night. Because you've somehow spent, like, 6 hours doing that.
Yeah, and just, like, not eat anything because I'm too stressed out about the fact that I'm not doing anything that I have on my list.
Yes.
That's definitely... That would be, like, the default option.
But anyway, go ahead. So you're taking a cab downtown.
Take a cab to either Main Street Station or El Cortez, because that's like the north end or the south end. There are 11 casinos downtown. I don't think I can do all 11.
Come on, man.
You think I can do it?
Yeah.
I could just say, like, you know what? 11 casinos, go in, sit down at Quarter Video Poker. They all have really good pay tables for the most part, except maybe like Golden Nugget. Say I'm going to put in $20 and either I lose it or I get to, who knows, some amount, and then I leave. Double it maybe, and then have a few bars picked out where I say, like, okay, I'm gonna actually, like, sit here and get a drink, because you can't get a drink at every one, because that would be ruinous.
Oh, what you need to do is just go to Casino Royale and just have 11 Michelob lights, or Michelob. It's Michelob's, right? That's the special there.
I think, yeah, but it's like $3 now. I think.
That's not $1.
No, I think it's $2 now. I'll
$2 sounds all right.
Yeah, I'll investigate. I don't know. That's
anyway.
Not even drinking, though.
What? It's Michelob, man. Where do you get the regular Michelob these days?
That's a good point.
In the year 2019.
I do plan to make a Casino Royale stop. They don't have the deal anymore where it's like a $100 sign-up bonus. Now it's like if you lose $20, they'll just put $20 on your card, and that sucks.
Then you can lose $20 again. Give you the right to...
Yeah, it's just $20 free play. It's lame.
Something.
Yeah, it's better than a sharp stick in the eye, as you would say.
Yeah.
So anyways, downtown, my big ones that I want to make sure I go to are Boar's Head Bar at Main Street Station, View Bar at the D, and I've been told I should make sure to hit up the Downtown Grand because they have over 100% payout video poker.
Do you even know how to play double-double bonus?
That's a good question.
Because it's always double-doubles that's over, right?
Yeah. So, I mean, I've tried a little. I have an app that trains you, and I've done a little bit of it, and I'm not too bad, but I'm certainly not good enough to, like, actually be getting...
Be over 100. Yeah.
So, Furnace Bar at Downtown Grand is an option. And then, depending on how drunk I am, I might detour to Banger Brewing to get some craft beer. That's the plan. That's my solo plan. So, if anybody happens to be in downtown Las Vegas on Wednesday, July 31st... That's where you can find me, at the video poker places.
And by that you mean just in, like, walking around Bellagio doing nothing? That's where you can find Craig?
Yeah. I mean, I'm staying at Delano, so probably walking around, like, Mandalay Bay, Luxor, Excalibur. If you had to bet which one of these things, this thing I've planned out down to the letter what I'm going to do, or ending up, like, just lost, wandering aimlessly, thinking about whether or not I want to spend $60 on a Pete Rose autograph... Definitely go with the latter.
So basically, yeah, you will be 100% in, like, Excalibur, because then you'll be within striking distance of Mandalay, but
not actually.
Yeah.
And also, I love Excalibur. What is not to love?
If we combined my, like, penchant for action and your penchant for ridiculous planning, we could have, like, the perfect podcast host that just did all kinds of ridiculous things, but...
Instead, we somehow do like nothing.
Unfortunately, it's not a thing.
Yeah, somehow when it's like two separate people, it leads to just like not actually doing anything.
I mean, because if I'm like, I have something I want to do, I will do it with 100% certainty. But what I want to do is just sit at Harrah's all day and play backup dials.
That's a good point.
You have everything that you want to do, but you're not actually going to do any of it.
Ah, damn it.
I have nothing that I want to do, but I will do it as hard as I can. Oh well, next time.
I feel like that's just like our personalities in a nutshell.
It is.
Oh, God. Anyways, so that's Vegas. Next episode will probably be the last episode that we ever talk about Las Vegas because we're never going again.
Yeah, for me, it'll still be, 2013 is when we went last?
Yeah, so part of my stress is that, like, you know, the last trip we went on was my 4th year in a row. And I finally de-stressed on the last day because I was like, I make it every year.
Yeah,
And then I didn't make it for 6 years, so I'm worried I'm going to be so stressed about, like, well, when am I going to make it again?
Yeah, I probably went, 10 times in 6 years at least.
Yeah.
From 2007 to 2013, but never again after that.
I think we got a pretty good bet on 2023 for 40th birthdays.
I will make it to Las Vegas before then. It's my prediction. Yeah.
Really?
I'll be there.
Okay, we'll see.
Probably without you, but...
You seem disinterested in Vegas in general.
I mean, I did just go to Hong Kong, Macau for
That's a good
8 or
point.
9 days this year, so...
It's true.
It would have been a hard sell. Plus, I don't really have a ton of vacation time left. Because I was lost in Miami for 7 days and 2 more vacations. And...
Should we actually talk about some Atlantic City stuff?
What?
This is an Atlantic City podcast. I don't know if you know that.
Yeah, why don't we answer some listener questions?
So, I mean, some of the questions are not necessarily listeners, but Justin W. is a listener. This is the Justin episode. Justin S., Justin W. Justin W. wants to know, he has the option to get a comped classic king room at Borgata.
Very classy. Can't go wrong.
Through My Vegas, but he has to pay the resort fee, which is $22 and change.
Okay.
Or he can get a comped Harrah's Atrium Tower suite, and he's diamond, so no resort fee.
So, I've never stayed in the Atrium Tower.
Same.
I hear it's pretty medium.
Big rooms.
Yeah, pretty old, right?
I think at this point, other than the Marina Tower, it's the oldest rooms in Harrah's. I think that Bayview, Waterfront, and then what's now the Coastal Tower, used to be the Harbor Tower, are all newer. So that, I think it shows, at least from what I can gather from TripAdvisor and 7 Stars Insider and that kind of stuff. But they're very big rooms. They're 800 square feet. So those are large hotel rooms. Separate sitting area. It's got hardwood floors in the separate sitting area with a couch. Yeah. If you listen to the most recent episode of You Can Bet on that.
I think Dr. Mike is 100% correct that hardwood floors just make everything better.
You know what has hardwood floors, Kyle? The West Tower.
No, it has shitty linoleum that looks like hardwood. False.
Anyway.
Just like the Flamingo also had shitty linoleum that looked like hardwood last time we stayed there.
This is probably also shitty linoleum, I don't know. Versus the Borg Classic Room, 600 square feet. So it's not a tiny room. Classy as fuck Borg decor, as we have established. And the biggest advantage is that it's at Borgata.
Yep.
So what do you think? Who wins? $22 extra dollars? Is the Borgata room worth $22 more than the Atrium Tower room?
So from whose perspective, right? If you're asking me, personally, which one I would stay in, it would be a no-brainer.
What's the no-brainer? The free room because you want to save $22?
No. I don't care. I would pay $22. I'd stay in the Atrium Tower because I've never stayed there. But
well, come on. That's not helping, Justin. Going with his wife, by the way. We should establish.
Yeah, and I think he said it was his second time ever in AC, so presumably... I'm assuming he didn't stay in either of these properties last time?
I believe that's right.
I'd probably just stay at the Borgata. I think you're just going to have a better experience.
Yeah, I don't think it's a total no-brainer. But I think the advantage of Borgata is that you're at Borgata.
Mm-hmm.
You can do so much more there that's so much better than the stuff at Harrah's. And Harrah's, it has some solid dining. The casino is not terrible. It has things to like about it. The pool is cool if you like the pool scene. The club is obviously great if you like the club scene. But as far as just a total package, like Borgata is really kind of second to none, I think, in AC just entirely. So if you're going to be spending a ton of time in one place, Borgata is the place you want to be. And just the ability to walk out of the elevators and be in Borgata, as opposed to walking out of the elevators and being in like the Harrah's Casino, I think it makes for a much better trip to be centrally located at Borgata.
I mean, it's not really centrally located, but sure.
I mean, yeah, like having your home base at Borgata.
Yeah. No, I mean, especially if you're bringing your wife, you're just going to have a better time at Borgata, I think. I would not hesitate to say that that's one of the best rooms in Atlantic City, and spend the $22, stay at Borgata, have a great time.
Yeah, I'm with you. So I was in Ocean City, New Jersey last week.
Yep, you sent me some pictures complaining about how nice the boardwalk was and how it's not the same.
Yeah, not nearly dingy enough.
Yep.
I could see Atlantic City.
Yep.
From the beach. It was torture. But both my parents and my in-laws separately said to me, hey, you know Atlantic City. We are thinking about going on an Atlantic City vacation because we've never done it before. And it kind of blew my mind because my parents don't gamble.
Your dad is actively anti-gambling, right?
Right. And don't really drink. And my wife's parents don't really gamble, although I think they would do it if they were in Atlantic City. Don't really drink and don't care at all. Neither parents care at all about like sitting out on the beach. So is there enough for them to do to make an AC trip worth it?
So is this just them, or is this with you guys?
Just them.
Oh.
Let's say it's like a one night, like pretty much 2 pretty full days, one night trip.
I think one night there's going to be enough to do. I think if it was 2 nights, it might be a little tough if you don't like gambling, don't like drinking, and don't like the beach.
So you know, the extra difficulty level, because I was talking to my wife tonight about this, trying to prep for the episode, because she really cares about, you know, getting me warmed up for this episode. As
any good podcast wife should.
She said one added wrinkle for her parents is they don't care about, like, fancy restaurants. So they can't even plan around the fine dining. Because I would sort of say, like, well, you know, you can just plan to go hit all these good places and just eat the entire time. But apparently that's even out for them. So what do you think? Do you have, as far as, like, non-gambling, non-drinking
I mean, so what do they want to do on vacation in general?
Yeah, that's a good question. So normally they do, like, sightseeing stuff, though, right? So I think that makes it tougher, because I don't know how much of that there really is.
I mean, you could go to... I think there's stuff to do. You could go to Gardner's Basin during the day. There's plenty of stuff to see around there. It's very pretty. You could maybe do, like, the lighthouse.
Yeah.
I think that's, like, something reasonable if you like sightseeing stuff. It's a pretty view up at the top. You could walk the boardwalk. That's something to do. Boy, I don't know. You could see Lucy, I guess, which I have not even done.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think my father-in-law would like to just, like, sit in a sports book, like the Borgata sports book or the Ocean sports book, and watch a game, even if he's not betting on it.
You could absolutely do that.
He would love Topgolf.
But
my mother-in-law wouldn't care about either of these things. But I think that they would be fine splitting up, and my mother-in-law would love the outlets.
Okay.
So I think that they could basically get an entire afternoon of, like, my mother-in-law at the outlets, my father-in-law
at the book,
watching a game and playing at Topgolf.
Sure.
And apparently the food is pretty decent at Topgolf, so maybe even my mother-in-law would do that. But
I think 1 night and 2 days you could easily do. I don't think that would be a problem. I think longer than that you might kind of have seen everything there is to see if you're not a gambler, not a drinker, and not a beach person.
I mean, my biggest suggestion is schedule it around an entertainment act that you really want to see.
Yeah, that's true too. If there's a show or something, there's some act in town. For
my parents, like at Ocean alone, there's a straight no chaser show not until December, which is like an a cappella group, and Reba McEntire in August. I think they would like either of those. So, like, you know, if you get a fancy dinner and go to a show, that's a night. Like, that's a full night. So my first question, I guess it's not my first question anymore, but where to stay for non-gamblers? What do you think?
Boardwalk, probably.
Specifically, which casino, Kyle?
Ocean.
I need specifics. You go with Ocean?
Yeah.
So that's what I said right off the bat. And I think it was my dad who was like, not Borgata? which Borgata is very nice and has excellent restaurants and has a lot of good entertainment. But the advantage of Ocean is that you can stay in the room and they will make it hard for you to get to the casino. Not just...
That's true, especially with your dad. He won't have to avoid it. It's actually difficult to get there.
He could stay at Ocean and basically forget the casino even exists. And I think that's perfect for him. What's even more perfect for them is all the outdoor space at Ocean. I think that my parents would love going and sitting out on those like wooden chairs that overlook the ocean, out by the fire pits. I think that's like their idea of a good time. And even just sitting in the room overlooking the ocean, I think they would hang out for like 3 hours in the afternoon just sitting in the room. Yeah.
I think Ocean is a great place to stay for people like that. Assuming that you can actually make a reservation, which I couldn't.
You just do it online. Because they're not going to get caught.
True. Yeah, just do it through the Hyatt website or whatever. You should book them a room as a nice son. It's really what should happen.
Some other non-gambling attractions. We've mentioned outlets. We've mentioned walking the boardwalk all the way to Gardner's Basin. The beach, which apparently they don't care about doing. Absecon Lighthouse. Topgolf. Harrah's Pool. I mean, if you don't want to sit out by the beach, but you want to sit out by the pool, I think the Harrah's Pool during the day is like a pretty cool thing to do, pretty laid-back thing to do. Obviously, there's 1,000 spas. Go to any spa.
Yeah.
There's Viking Cooking School at Harrah's, which I've tried to do in the past. The big problem with Viking Cooking School, not really a problem for them, is that you probably need to book like over a month in advance if you want to do a weekend class. They fill up extremely fast, but seems like something that is very popular.
Always walk by it going to and from the room.
Yeah, IMAX at the Tropicana, although that's something that you can kind of do a lot of different places. Yeah. Ripley's, believe it or not, on the boardwalk.
Has anyone ever done that?
I don't know. Apparently it's like very weird but interesting. Sort of drinking, I mean, very drinking related, but you don't have to make it drinking as the Little Water Distillery Tour. Might be interesting even if you're not a big drinker.
And why would it be interesting if you don't like drinking?
I think the process is interesting and seeing the equipment is interesting.
I don't think it's interesting if you're not a drinker, though. It's like, would you be interested to go to like a cigarette making factory?
No, I mean, I say like not drinking, like my dad will drink whiskey. He's not like, a teetotaler. He just is not going to like go sit at a cocktail lounge and like drink a bunch of cocktails. I don't know. Maybe he would actually after my mom goes to bed. Boardwalk Hall, they do tours. You can see the big organ. The big organ.
The big organ. The biggest organ.
You really set up for euphemisms and stuff. Double entendres. Low roller. We didn't mention going on the Steel Pier observation wheel, Kyle, for a good 15 minutes.
15 minutes and like $15 each or whatever.
It's probably worth it.
Maybe.
All right, am I missing anything?
No, I don't think so. I think we've laid it out pretty well.
I feel like we're missing something awesome. Oh, so one thing. Loads of free music. Hard Rock Cafe, Lobby Bar at Hard Rock, Council Oakfish at Hard Rock, all free live music. Gypsy Bar at Borgata, Firewaters and Tangos at the Tropicana, Eden Lounge at Harrah's, The Deck at Golden Nugget. I'm probably missing some. There is a lot of free music. If you want to just go sit somewhere where there's probably not even going to be that much pressure to buy a drink, especially if you're just hanging out in the lobby at Hard Rock. You can listen to a lot of music. Wild Wild West, although I don't think that's going to be my parents' demographic, also has free live music. So there is a lot of sort of just places to go sit and hang out and enjoy yourself and listen to music if you can find bands that you like. So that's definitely a free option. Made Chocolate Bar is they do a lot of like chocolate drink combination tasting, but I feel like that's something that's sort of more interesting than just going and sitting in the bar. But what about food? Recommend a restaurant to some parents
that don't like food.
Well, yeah, think more like, my parents would appreciate a good restaurant.
Oh. I don't know. What do they want?
Come on, man.
What do they like?
Your one recommendation that you
Docks.
Always give.
Yeah.
Docks, thank you. Okay.
Gilchrist.
Yeah, Gilchrist for breakfast.
I do recommend Gilchrist.
Do Gilchrist for breakfast.
That I think is like, if I have to recommend one restaurant in Atlantic City, go to Gilchrist.
I would also say for people who have never been to AC, and even for my in-laws who are not big, like, fine dining, whatever, they would probably really like Continental. Sample a bunch of stuff, not all that expensive.
Really?
Sit out over the ocean.
I'd say if you kind of aren't a big food person, like a nice view and just sitting outside, I'd say something like Back Bay might be better for you.
Oh, that's a good point. I didn't think about that. Back Bay is an excellent selection. Iron Room, I think, is probably a little too hip for my parents or my in-laws. Knife and fork is like more on the sort
It's
of
like fancy, right?
Stuffy side.
Paul's been right.
Yeah, I think my parents might appreciate that, like sort of the old school Atlantic City side. I think Doc's is like the go-to. I think both sets of parents, even without sort of loving the fine dining, I think they would like Doc's. And because it's not like exorbitant or anything.
No, it's not. I wouldn't even say it's like super fine dining. It's just a great experience.
Yeah. And then, really just any good restaurant in your hotel, wherever you're staying. Right. Like if you're staying at Ocean or Borgata or Tropicana, there's going to be a pretty good restaurant or probably 5 pretty good restaurants that you can choose from. So just do a little Yelp research and you'll find something good.
Yep.
I think you can definitely fill 2 pretty solid days. And if you're completely out of stuff to do, you mentioned Lucy the Elephant or a quick drive, like 20 minutes to historic Smithville and go look at the shops there. That's my itinerary.
Cool.
Anyways, stuff happened. There's Ocean's opening new restaurants. Do you want to talk about them?
Sure. So
I can tell you do.
Yes. There's going to be a new food hall next to Distrito on the casino level, according to their Facebook. No set opening date, but it'll probably be soon. I guess some other places are, first, the most amazing name for a Chinese place that I could ever imagine, Boardwalk.
Yeah, Boardwalk, W-O-K. Yeah. So good.
So good, yeah. There's a District Grill coming in, which has burgers, hot dogs, chicken tenders, and more. Seaside Deli, which is deli favorites like pastrami turkey and corned beef. Simply Salads, which I can guess what they have there. And same thing with Scoops Ice Cream, which also seems pretty straightforward.
Yeah, so I guess this is sort of their like marketplace at Borgata type of deal. I don't really understand where this fits next to Distrito. When they first started talking about this, a lot of people in the Everything AC group assumed it was going to be in the buffet space, but that's not really next to Distrito.
Uh-huh.
It's on the same level.
Yeah, I don't... Because, like, the cafe is next to Distrito, sort of, right?
Right. Yes, it's, like, across from...
Yeah, I don't know where there's space there. I feel like there's, like, escalators near there, too, but there's not a whole lot else. There's, like, the whatever, Sinners and Saints. That's right there. But, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, Villain and Saint. Yeah. I don't know where it would go there.
But I don't know. We'll see when it opens. I know some people seem to think it was opening at the end of July, although everyone on their Facebook group, like literally every time they made an announcement about a restaurant, 30 people would say, hey, when is this opening? And they would ignore it. But then if people were like, hey, where's this going to be? They would say, it's right next to Distrito. So they would answer some people, but they were not answering anyone about
that
the
was
opening
asking
time.
when it was happening.
Another thing that is open already is the Froze Daiquiri Bar, now open in the lobby.
Sounds like a knockoff Wet Willie's.
Froze, man, all the rage. I had never heard of it until I went to Nashville, where apparently every bar is like required to serve Froze. And then I came back and I started seeing Froze everywhere. The bar in my building has Froze. Anyways.
Okay,
I'd check it out.
I guess it's not a knockoff Wet Willie's.
I'd go get a Froze. Why not?
It's in your building. You should just go downstairs right after this.
That's true. I don't need to go to Atlantic City. Heaven knows I don't go to Atlantic City.
Subsidize it a certain amount if you do. How much would you say a Froze is?
I don't know, $12 probably.
Yeah. I'll pay for 5 of it if you go get one after this episode. Take it back to your room. Just in the cup. Just be like, all right, I gotta go.
Yeah, I think they would stop me at the door. All right. Should we talk about...
Justin S. Finally.
Not all heroes wear capes.
We've been building him up. We put out the Justin S. signal, and he responded.
Yeah, because we were unsure about what was going on at the American Craft Beer Joint and Eatery. We saw some work being done. And we were like, is it reopening? It seems to be done. Didn't open in time for the summer. And it turns out there is something else there open now called Sandy Shoes by the Sea. Which, its website, Sandy Shoes AC, I can't read and not see Sandy's Hose AC.
Experts Exchange is the best version of that joke possible. Are you familiar with Experts Exchange?
No, although it took me like 2 seconds.
Yeah.
Anyways, I'll let the listeners
figure that one out on their own. Yes, that'll be your homework, is to figure out why that's funny.
Yeah.
Real website used to be very popular.
Breakfast, lunch, and dinner, which, a restaurant has. That's the thing. The menu seems kind of typical of like a beach town casual seafood joint, soups and salads, has a raw bar, steaks, fish, crab cakes. Something jumped out at me on the menu that Justin snapped a picture of and sent me via the Twitters. And that was a lobster corn dog appetizer. And I was super excited. It said an Atlantic City spin on the corn dog, only available at Sandy Shoes. What the hell do you think a lobster corn dog is?
That sounds horrible.
I'm trying to figure it out. I think
like lobster I think is pretty good, but you know what I don't want on it? Like a bunch of cornmeal.
So it's not going to be in a tube, right? Like that. It's not going to be on a stick in a tube.
Like two great tastes that do not taste great together.
So my guess is that it was like a lobster roll on cornbread.
It's still two great tastes that do not taste great together.
I don't know. I think it could be fine. Anyway, I would have tried it if it still exists. Because about 2 hours later, Justin said, oh yeah, I stopped by to actually order
a lobster corn dog?
A lobster corn dog. And his quote was, they're saying it was a creation of a chef who is no longer there, and it will never be back again.
Seems like a promising opening of this new restaurant.
Yeah. So, I mean, first of all, like, this place has been open for like a week or 2 weeks, right? This is not a long tenured establishment to have already turned through a chef. So, that's a little concerning. Justin did say the pork roll burger was good, although qualified by the fact that, you know, it's a burger with pork roll on it. So, a little hard to mess up.
Yeah.
Would you try the Sandy's Hose AC?
I mean, sure. I mean, but I would have tried American Craft as well, but I never did, so.
I'll say the menu. I saw the menu and I was like, this looks pretty good.
I will click the link.
Crab pretzel.
Lunch and dinner. This actually looks fine.
Yeah. The food sounded, I mean, shrimp cocktail, wings, crab pretzel,
artisan flatbread for $12.
Crab cake sandwich, which you can go eat and judge as any Marylander should.
Some names of food that just aren't there, and like artisan flatbread sounds like the last thing I would ever want to eat. It's like flatbread, but for assholes.
Oh boy.
I don't know. This looks like it's going to be like super medium, and it's going to be like kind of expensive for what it is. Sure, if like people wanted to go there, I'd go. I'd have no problem with it, but I'm not excited.
It has outdoor seating.
Yeah,
you can dine al fresco. You can make reservations on Open Table. And let me give you a little hint, a little insider secret here. You don't need reservations.
You say that now, it's going to be like the next big thing in Atlantic City.
Hey, I'd love it.
I don't know. I'm not super excited.
Yeah, I would not. I was very, very intrigued by the lobster corn dog, and when they dashed my hopes about that, I've lost a lot of interest.
So there's another new restaurant coming to Atlantic City, to the beach block of New York Avenue in the first half of 2020. It is called Cardinal, and it's more than a restaurant, says Chef Michael Brennan. It's part of a movement happening to the Orange Loop to build Atlantic City one block at a time. It's going to have cocktails, local beer, and mocktails, which presumably if you have cocktails, you can also make mocktails at any time. So I don't know why that's being advertised. But is there much to say here?
So this chef, and I'll link to the article by Ryan Laughlin of the Press of Atlantic City, ran a restaurant called Cardinal Bistro in Ventnor.
Okay.
That was very, very popular and closed, or very well reviewed at least, and closed. And he said he was going to make the best restaurant in the country in Atlantic City. And that is supposedly going to be Cardinal.
Sounds reasonable.
Lofty goals. So it'll be interesting to see, you know, it seems like the Orange Loop is getting a lot of cool stuff and a lot of interesting dining. The one thing I want to talk about, I mean, I definitely want to check it out, but the mocktail thing, because you've poo-pooed it already.
I did.
So when my wife was pregnant, I would still go to bars with her because that's the kind of caring and loving husband that I am.
Yep.
And she would ask about non-alcoholic beverages, and she'd always get kind of a look of like, why would you want to do that? And they would make something, and typically it would not be all that good. Because most cocktails, you know, if you just take out the alcohol, are not good. So they would come up with some other concoction.
You just need to, like, I don't know, put a little seltzer in it or something. I think it's usually pretty easy to do, but I'm not sure.
So I think if there was like a mocktail menu, my wife, now not pregnant, would still really appreciate that.
Do you have something to tell us, Craig?
And I would know, but I would still get to drink a bunch of cocktails.
Do you have an announcement to make to the Due for a Win listeners?
Yeah, my announcement is that my wife is a lightweight and can only really drink like 2 drinks in a night. So if I'm at the cocktail bar drinking my face off, she might enjoy a mocktail rather than sitting and staring at me drink my like 4th old-fashioned in a row.
Any more than 2 beers each, and you both wake up just covered in toasted coconut together. Which isn't a bad night, really.
No, I don't see any problem.
I mean, that's not like something to be ashamed of.
No. So I'm fully on board with the mocktail movement, and I hope that this becomes a thing.
I don't know.
Every good cocktail bar should have a mocktail menu. That's what I think.
I feel like there's never a problem with them making mocktails at a place with cocktails.
You would think, but you would be wrong.
Okay. You were saying this with the conviction of a man who seems like he knows what he's talking about. So I'll believe you.
That's pretty much how you get through life, I think, is just act like you know what you're talking about.
Yeah, it always works on me.
What about data?
I don't know. Do you want to push this to next time?
No?
I think we've gone long enough. We need to give the people a reason to come back.
Do we? The June data, we're going to talk about the June data in August.
Fine, we can talk about the June data. All right, so we were up just about 14% in the month of June, which I think that's just about in our range that Craig and I have said is about what we would expect and sort of what we would call satisfactory for the city, but nothing more than that. The big winner was Borgata at 64 million, up 17% from May and up 6% compared to last year. Golden Nugget got slaughtered again, down almost 25% from last year, down to just over 15.75 million. Slightly beating out Resorts, which was also down another like 5%. But to me, looking at Q2, just quickly, Hard Rock was $30 million, which certainly isn't bad. And Ocean was at $20 million, first time ever. So congratulations to Ocean.
Yeah, I mean, it's trending in the right direction.
It's something. The big standout to me in Q2 is really Golden Nugget, which is what I talked about a couple episodes ago. So just really an awful quarter for them. And yeah, I don't know. I mean, certainly they're someone who's doing pretty decently in the online space, so they're not going to go away or anything, but they can't be happy with their brick and mortar performance.
Yeah, I mean, it really makes me wonder if they've leaned into the online in lieu of the brick and mortar, and that's kind of how that's happened. But I don't know. It'll be interesting to keep watching that because it does kind of make me wonder if they drew a lot of people over there to check it out, and now those people have kind of decided, like, I've gotten my fill of what is at the Golden Nugget, and maybe they need to, change things up a little bit in terms of restaurant offerings or whatever.
Bring back the aquarium.
Bring back the live dealer aquarium. That was their biggest mistake, was getting rid of it.
Yeah.
I think you can see a direct correlation between brick and mortar gambling revenue and the online live dealer aquarium.
Yeah, I agree.
The other thing, I think Hard Rock beating Tropicana by around 10%, I think is noteworthy. Puts them, pretty firmly in second place. They seem to be going the right direction. They did have like multiple $30 million months last summer, so it's not like they're in uncharted territory here, but they're beating Tropicana, which they were not doing last summer. So it makes me think that they're going to be in the, mid or high 30s in the later months in the summer and start to be putting up numbers that are a little more respectable than what they were doing when they first opened.
Yeah, I think Hard Rock they're not doing what they would have hoped that they would have been doing. They're not doing what we were predicting for them, certainly, but it seems like the ship is moving in the right direction. Ocean, I'd like to see a couple more quarters before making any predictions, but certainly on the positive side, I'd say like Hard Rock is probably the positive story of the quarter. It was kind of their first good quarter that they've had so far, I think, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, so you mentioned Golden Nugget as sort of the disappointment of the quarter, and how they were actually sort of a success story maybe 2 years ago.
I'd say, other than Tropicana, the Golden Nugget's been the biggest success story in the last few years.
Yeah, so Tropicana was down 15.9% in Q2. Yeah. So they were the second biggest decline in Q2. So, I mean, what do you think that's just people who came and checked it out and tried new things? Like, why would they have gone from being these success stories to now losing out? I mean, is it the new casinos?
Probably to some extent. I would imagine that the new casinos probably did take disproportionately from Tropicana compared to some of the other casinos, but I'm not really sure. I mean, they were only down 7% in Q1. Again, I'd like a little more data before declaring that there's something seriously wrong.
So here's my crackpot theory. The people who drove up Golden Nugget and Tropicana revenue are people who like knew it was renovated and wanted to try new things. And now there's newer things to try, and they're interested in trying those things. That's my thought.
Was Tropicana really renovated?
Oh, yeah, they did a ton of work.
Yeah.
They redid the whole casino floor. They redid
still
tons
bad.
and tons of rooms.
Also still pretty meh.
They added 10 North Lounge. Anyways, they tried Shack Jack.
they did try Shack Jack.
They got rid of Shack Jack, and then everybody's like, no Shack Jack.
I know. It was, as soon as they got rid of Shack Jack and Nothing But Net, you were like, never again.
Yeah,
and
I'll never be back.
Yeah.
All right, is that it?
I think that's it. I think we can close up shop. So thank you guys for listening. If you want to reach out to us or any of our other listeners, you can do so at facebook.com/group/DoForAWin. Find all of our amazing content at DoForAWin.com. Also order your t-shirt there. Find our podcast on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, TuneIn Radio, and Spotify. Reach out to Craig on Twitter at DoForAWin or me at Kyle Askin, and send Craig questions at DoForAWin@gmail.com. Any last words, Craig?
Come see me downtown Vegas Wednesday. Downtown, not aimlessly wandering.
You won't be horrifically disappointed if you show up in downtown Vegas on Wednesday. Oh wait, you will, because Craig won't be there. I mean, you might not be because you'll have fun regardless, but...
To be fair, if somebody shows up and they actually meet me, they would still leave horrifically disappointed.
That's true. Maybe they'd actually be happier if you just didn't show up.
Good point.
Excellent.
All right. We'll talk to you in a couple weeks. I jokingly sent Andy the Gold Coast $9.99 buffet.
Oh my! I have been to the Gold Coast breakfast buffet, sir.
No way.
Literally have done it. We should probably save it for the show. I mean, there's not really much more to the story, but I just have to brag that I have been there and done it.
Including me shitting myself. That will also save that for the show.
Just... the show's going to have to end because just me talking about the Gold Coast buffet is going to send you straight to the bathroom.
Man.